Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, financial chaos in America. There's an imbalance, but you know, wealth plan, ladies and gentlemen, and you need to stay the course. What is that course? Reducing debt for number one. You need some help, go to findhelp.org. We'll talk all about that, plus the wealth building, wealth plan techniques. In case things go bad, you don't want to be holding the bag. And welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Please share the video because you never know who's out here looking for information. And this is what we're going to have to do tonight. But first, we're starting one thing, the SSN Lifestyle Way. Let me put this in. Let's come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Part of the SSN lifestyle. That's right. I used to have a lot of them, but now I found this one. Plus, we have another one as well. But I had to show you because some people don't realize the situation. You need to be outside of America sometimes. And the wealth plan includes outside of America banking accounts, business, or real estate, either one, or all three. But the bank account's important, real estate or business outside of the US. The money stays outside the US system. You control it. That's the first thing, ladies and gentlemen, for the financial chaos in America. What is happening? What do I mean by the financial chaos? First of all, when you use tariffs as a threat to block your market, because that's all a tariff is, it blocks your market. In other words, America says we're going to put a tariff on, we'll just say the EU. Anybody that does business with the EU, meaning you buy products from the EU, have it shipped into America as a business, and you need to pick it up, you're going to be an additional, for instance, 25% that you have to pay. That also means you're not going to be dumb enough as a business owner. You're going to have to raise your price at least 25% for those same items. That's 1/4. So that means they decide, or shall I say, the American citizens decide if they're willing to pay the extra money. If they decide that they're not going to pay the extra money to the American company, the EU company already got their money. They didn't actually have to pay 25%. All they did was pay for the shipping, which they didn't pay for that because the American company pays them for shipping. When it shows up on our shores, the American company or the company inside of America has to pay the tariff 25% more. That means chaos because can they maintain 25%, or do they have to make it 30 or 35 or 40% because they have transportation costs, shipping costs inside the country? People forget about this, but not you guys who's here in the SSN Nation and fortunate enough to listen to my live streams and the podcast as well. So you guys are getting it because a lot of people still do not understand the correlation. So now I'm a corporation in America. All of a sudden people say, oh no, I'm not going to pay that extra 30 to 40%. I'm not going to buy from you anymore, or I'm just going to buy a few pieces now versus before I bought, let's say, 5 pieces. Now I'm thinking maybe one because you raised the price like 30, 40%. And now the business, guess what? They're going to be filing bankruptcy or restructuring or closing down stores, which is the financial chaos. And that means you, the employees, are going to lose your job. And you know there's no health care for all in America, the supposed richest country in the planet. I don't think the richest country is going to be one that hangs out their citizens to dry, such as if they get sick and they have to go down to the hospital, an emergency situation arises, they got to go to the hospital, and next thing you know, there's bills of 10 to 40 grand that you have to somehow come up with when they know 80% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. And then they have the audacity to raise the insurance, of course, because let's face it, when you know that there's 1,000 items, over 1,000 banned food items from around the world, the United States allows its citizens to consume those banned items. You're the mark. We're the mark. I'm not the mark because SSN Lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen, healthy eating, healthy products inside your body. That's what you have to do. The financial chaos will continue because we are spending money on things that do not produce anything. So anytime anybody wants to drop a comment down below, I'll keep going on and on about the financial chaos. So right now we have a bill in Congress. Right now it got held up because they didn't want to fund ICE. ICE already cost $1 trillion to form. Do you want to waste, and already has been not $1 trillion total yet, but that's what they want to try and allocate over the previous time and add some more to it. Could you imagine if they actually allocated $1 trillion to make Americans better? Health care for all would be on the table. Businesses wouldn't have to deal with health care. Everybody would be able to just show up and go down to the hospital and not have to worry about if they're ill, because financial chaos means people can't afford insurance. They can't afford hospital bills. So when they get sick, they say, no, I'm not going. People are dying. People are causing problems because they can't afford to go to the hospital. Financial chaos continues. Again, why would you think spending $1 trillion to go pick up people and then you're building detention centers, prisons, flying people out of the country? You're broke as a country. Taxpayers have to pick up this tab. What have you produced? You know what you produced? The world's largest prison complex. That's what you produce. What happens there? Free labor? So what if somebody puts on antennas while they're locked up? So what if they make license plates? So what if they're doing some sewing a little bit in here and there? Again, that is not production for your country to sustain itself with a high GDP doing that nonsense. You need manufacturing facilities out here. You need light rail to help your citizens get around, not light mass transit where people have those trains that go 200 miles per hour so people can get somewhere for 10 to 30 bucks inside of America. You need infrastructure rebuilt. You need green energy rebuilt. Can you imagine spending $1 trillion to pick people up, put them under, and the United States citizens or the taxpayers, the marks? You're paying for this activity. It goes on and on and on and on. It won't stop. You don't stop, especially when you're not part of the rich and the elite, when you're not running the government, when you're not in the fear of influence of the oligarchs, the tech bros. Again, you're caught, ladies and gentlemen, in a jungle, and it's about to get a lot worse. So therefore, your plan is get your debt down as fast as you can. And if you can't do that, you need your credit score as fast as you can in the mid sevens, because right now in the mid sevens gives you 0% for up to 24 months. So you transfer whatever you can onto that 0% card that you owe. Credit cards debt is at an all-time record high here in America, and it's going to keep going up because everybody is tapped out. Not everybody, 80% of people are tapped out, and that's not going to help you, because then you're going to be tapped out. Guess what else counts? How many people have any available balance left on their credit cards? Because that's the higher the balance goes, now you're reaching limits. And that means financial chaos. That means your country is going down the tubes. The empire is crumbling while some other people are siphoning off all the money. So, again, if you've come here, this is called Stop Struggling Now. And the unfortunate thing, what you were taught, capitalism. Do your best, be your best, you'll get rewarded. Sure, that happens. Sure, certain people can win, but the game is definitely rigged. And that is why 80% of the population is sitting out here getting screwed over while they're doing $1 trillion for picking up people that actually help our economy and throw away over $300 billion annually, because that's what they spend, and they give into the Social Security Administration. And now, without that money coming in, we're already, you're okay. How silly. This 10 years from now, there may not be any Social Security. Your grandparents, your parents, the elderly, guess what happens? Where are they going to live? You're 75 years old. Going to go work where? $15 an hour? That'd be $21 an hour. I mean, you're going to have some sort of skill set and hope that there's a job available after this AI fallout. So, again, this financial chaos is being done to you, and some people are out here cheering for it. They're like, no problem. I voted for this. And I'm like, you understand you're not getting health care. You understand they're taking away FDA. You understand when there's a catastrophe like what's happening right now with the cold spell, FEMA's not coming. Because the guys that you voted for said, no, man, FEMA, screw them. Screw you, Americans. And you guys, some people are going, yeah, I'm going to eat that up. And I'm like, have you lost your mind? Again, financial chaos to bring you to your knees because you are the mark. Because here's what happens. They tell you, oh, you're barely surviving. We don't care. You're going to have to pay more taxes. And that means wherever you live, your property taxes are going to rise. Wherever you live, your insurance is going to rise. And heaven forbid, like I started off this financial chaos live stream, you get sick, game over if you don't have insurance. And since they try to cut the ACA, sooner or later, they're going to get around to that pre-existing condition. And like I said at the beginning, when you have over 1,000 banned substances from around the world in your food, you're definitely going to get sick if you're not paying attention. And there's a millions upon millions of people that don't pay attention. And you're going down with the ship. Again, another reason to have the number one thing. Let's get it. We should call this the SS Nation plan, because that's what it is. Again, I'll go over this. Bank account outside the US with some money in it, out of US jurisdiction. Real estate or business outside the United States, otherwise known international, offshore, nothing to do with the US. All right? Simple. Real estate or business, bank account. Not that hard. That protects you because of the situation where they're saying, we don't like certain Americans in this country. So you got to go, you got to go, you go. And they might place you somewhere in the world. Now, let's get down to the number three thing, because your credit, it's going to matter. I know this is going to be hard, but you're going to have to get your debt down like Dave Ramsey. This isn't pretend anymore. Dave Ramsey was pretending before when he would tell people, get your debt down. The way you get your debt down means you have to have disposable income. You have to have extra income to make investments. You have to have extra income in order to do anything out here. So if you don't have extra income, you can't pay down your debt. So all the talk about pay down your debt, pay down your debt. Well, that didn't go so well because 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck because they were paying down their debt until they got their next insurance bill, their next healthcare bill premium increase, their next property tax bill, their next energy bill. Shall we keep going on with the financial chaos? The next after tariffs bill for the products that your business were buying from outside of the United States or from Mexico or from Canada, which were supposed to be our friendly nations. So again, financial chaos, ladies and gentlemen, you need a wealth plan. Getyourfindhelp.org right now. That can help you. Matthew Lesko, want to thank you once again. Joe Nay, another investor. He's done already. He's on an island. He's already said, you know what? Let me get me some real estate outside of here. Let me have my bank account outside of the United States banking system. And now it's offshore. If anything happens in here, he's chilling. He's sitting there watching it. He's watching the show. He's going, man, this reality TV feels so real. Man, this ain't fake. People are dying. American citizens are dying in the streets from Gestapo. I'm like, is this for real right now? He's sitting over there chilling, just like we said 6 years ago. So we have people here in the SSN Nation that has made plans. So they have real estate outside the US so they can actually come over and at least hang out. They can get residency then. They can also, if they're showing income coming in, you can get residency. This is what you can do to go to other countries. Can you imagine right now, Joe Nay's sitting there nice and comfortable. He's sitting over there, money's coming in. He's paying for the economy, going down, buying groceries, supporting local businesses. And the next thing you know, these guys have something called ICE. They roll up on him, they kidnap him, throw him to somewhere, and does that to another million people. All of a sudden, nobody's contributing to their local economy no more. What's happening? Mom and pop businesses going out of business. Financial chaos, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is because they don't want to distract you from your rights being destroyed. First Amendment. We have reporters being arrested today for being in locations that were protesting, and the government says First Amendment no longer applied. Protesters, you can die, no longer applies. Second Amendment, you're carrying a concealed weapon, so you're going to get shot, no longer applies. And that contributes to financial chaos because now markets go, what are we doing? Outside of the United States, the EU, Canada, our friends are acting like, whoa, 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 who are these guys? We don't like what's happening. Just like the EU said, we're no longer going to be ordering stuff from your guys' tech companies, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Facebook, all these guys. They said, hold on, we're going to have to come up with our own thing. So they're about to lose customers. Because they said, why are we running through these rogue guys now? We don't know what they're going to do. We need to shut them down. Not shut them down. We need to have our own services, not relying on the United States tech bros. Think about this. What's the repercussions, ladies and gentlemen? You're smart. You watch this show. You know what time it is. You know what that means. That means less business. You lose markets. Again, losing markets just like the farmers lost the soybean market. Just like the farmers are losing the cattle market, the beef market. We had to import beef. Are you serious right now? Financial chaos is coming and is happening right underneath your feet. All right, Joe Nay, once again, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, SSN. How is everybody doing tonight? I'm not doing well, man. We got financial chaos in the streets, and it's the cause. And then the same people that cause it are trying to play victim. Oh my, it's diabolical. They're trying to blame other countries for being against us when the other countries are like, we didn't do anything. You're the one threatening us. You're the one that said you want to take over Greenland. You're the one that says you like Jim Kong Un. I know I messed it up. You're the one that says you like Russian leader Vladimir. You're the one that says I like the dictators in El Salvador and Argentina. We're going to give them our taxpayers' money. Again, financial chaos. They'd rather give Argentina and El Salvador American taxpayer money than help taxpayers. Financial chaos. Wealth plan is needed. Joe Nay, he's here. He smashed that like button. He gave it a one piece. You got that right. That's why. Make sure you hit the smash, the heart, the like, the checkbox, no matter where you're watching, the star. Make sure, because this channel has always been under review, because we tell it like it is. We don't sugarcoat it. And I don't really care what your opinions are. You can have one. It's allowed. We can have a debate. I'm here for it. But please come with receipts if you do. You can't just say something. You better have receipts, because I'm going to be pulling them up. All right, let's go. I'm not trying to scare anybody. All right. All right. EV Place. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. Another man that's in the house. You know what he did? The SSN Nation plan. He has real estate outside the United States. That also means a business potentially as well for rental income. That also means he has a bank account outside the United States. And I'm damn sure he's been working on or already has his mid 750s credit score, because he buys real estate in the United States as well. So therefore, he's halfway home to that 775. Well, he might be there credit score, because in about 6 months or less, you're going to see not 0 to 24 months. You're going to be seeing 0% interest to 36 months. How's that for a bold prediction on January 30, 2026? History will show what happens. And you know why it's going to happen? Because of financial chaos. People are going to max out their cards, and those people that maxed out their cards will not be able to get another card. Their credit will be too low to get another card. They'll probably be in debt collections and whatever else. So they need to give people with the best credit scores a huge incentive. And I'm going to like the 0% for 36 months. That's the huge incentive, right? Transfer everything there, pay 0% for 3 years. That would be awesome, right? It's coming. All right. There's a meltdown happening right before your very eyes. The wealth plan says the stock market is still going to go boom. Why? Because they announced the new Federal Reserve chairman. Now, people misunderstand the chairman's role. The chairman is the figurehead. Everybody else pretty much stays anonymous. The board of governors, they're pretty much anonymous until a president wants to target them. Again, I have a problem when a president tries to target individuals. That is a problem, because your freedoms are at stake, ladies and gentlemen, especially when you bypass the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the 14th Amendments, and all that. That is a problem, and that is what is going on, and that creates financial chaos. People are hypersensitive, and they should be. Good evening, SSN Nation brings EV Place tagline. He says, Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. EV Place, I humbly appreciate you being a member of the channel. I greatly appreciate that. Membership is Very nice. And it's open now, ladies and gentlemen. It's back. All right. We're back monetized as well, which is pretty awesome. So therefore, we know we need those, several streams of income coming in. That is going to be harder and harder. AI is here. Did you not notice Amazon mm, laid off 16,000 people? Think about this. Is Amazon in your backyard? Are you one of the winners of a city or state that said, bring Amazon here? We're going to give them subsidies and tax cuts and, ooh, ah, taxpayers' money? Because we're not going to allow them to pay tax for 10 to 20 years because they came here and they said they're going to bring us 10,000 jobs. And you believed them, not you. You voted for people that said, thank you, Amazon, for donating to our election. So we don't really care if you actually meet your goals, and we don't really care. We're going to send taxpayers money to pay for your energy bills and pay for those taxes that we're not going to collect from you. We're going to make them pay for it. Then we're going to go out and get bonds that we're going to have money that we owe interest on, and somehow we're going to pay the bond and not collect money from a gazillion dollar corporation that's in your backyard. You're going to make your taxpayers who are living paycheck to paycheck do it. This is awesome if you can do it. I grew up in the wrong era. Jesus, this is so unethical. It's beyond the pale. But you guys, I hope, are getting it because you don't have no way to run out. You know why? Because you got a social security card. You're an American citizen. Everybody else, they can leave. I mean, some places is worse. Some places are better. But everybody in America, you have a social security card. No matter where you live, you are an American citizen. And no matter where you live, you're supposed to pay Big Papa money because you're an American citizen for any money coming into your pockets. Now, don't get me wrong. Let's get real. I mean, the rich guys don't even consider anything. They just say we have a corporation offshore. Corporation doesn't pay us. It's simple. Don't have a salary. Don't make money. Corporation does though, which they have no jurisdiction over. Just saying. But EV Place, very, very happy to see you once again. And thank you so much. I did receive your email about your new venture. So that's very cool. Jonay, gold and silver plummeted. That is correct. After new Fed chief announced dollar is down. You doggone right, the dollar's down. The hidden inflation, the financial chaos continues. Dollar down. It was 3.5% DXY, ladies and gentlemen, just on Wednesday. 3.5%. So that's your inflation number. When you really think about it, it's hidden. So when they say it's, let's say 3% inflation, it's really 6.5, but actually it's not really 3% inflation because they're lying to you. It's very simple. Financial chaos allows them to lie to you. And then some of you go, yeah, the prices are higher, but it's all good because there's a bigger plan. There's no bigger plan. The bigger plan is they're siphoning off as much money from your ass, you taxpayer, before hits the fan. Because liquidity is a problem already. The Federal Reserve has to give money overnight for banks, financial institutions to keep money moving. If they didn't give them money, things freeze up. Game over, like it's 2007, where the banks are running down to the White House. Oh my God, you better give us money, man, or it's over. You better. It's over. We're telling you it's over. And instead of the C student being the man, which we knew he wasn't, but the C student, instead of him saying, I thought this was a capitalist system. I'm sorry, we are broke. You guys took a chance. You frittered away all the opportunities We gave you an upper hand. You were the selected chosen ones. So figure it out. I am not going to try and make sure you guys are saved while you have been paying my American citizens under livable wage jobs, while you guys, the executive staff, is sitting here making 300 times, 50 times as much as your workers. How about you go sweat for a while and see what it feels like to actually work instead of getting subsidies from these same people that you want them to pay to bail your sorry ass out? That's right, Eric for president. You got that right. Again, don't have that faith because you don't live in a capitalist system, ladies and gentlemen. What you live in is a taxpayer subsidized socialist system for the wealthy. They use you, us, to make sure a few million are wealthy. How about the top 10% own 93% of the stock market? Do you think that's by design? No, it's because the siphoning up for the last 50 years. Because we don't have anybody that has the guts to tax the wealthy like it's 1950. I'll take that. 1960. I'll take that. 1965. I'll take that taxation schedule when we had the largest middle class boom ever. And guess who those people are right now? They're your grandparents, your great grandparents, and they have trillions of dollars of assets because of that middle class boom in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Taxation was different. Didn't let the corporations off the hook. Didn't let the wealthy off the hook. We had social services to handle because we were supposed to have an inclusive society. So the financial chaos is orchestrated. And those who are wealthy and those who are able to get wealthy understand the assignment. Buy assets, stock market, just like the rest of the world. Why? Because it's orchestrated to go up. You know which companies they choose. The same ones you hear about all the time, the Teslas, the Microsofts, the Amazons, the same ones, the Nvidias, the same guys, Oracle. They give these guys government contracts. I mean, your money, government contracts to make sure they're going to be good. You guys understand you're missing the assignment. You might be the mark. But the wealth plan means now that you understand how they're moving, you need to move a certain way. Let's go. Dollar is down. Pros and cons. Inflation is the biggest con. Exactly. That's the only con. Because now, if the dollar goes down, let's just say it goes down to 10%, that's a hidden, that means inflation is 10% plus whatever the other inflation is. And since they're lying to us, I always tell you guys it's very simple. It's actually double digits. So even if you said it's 10, which it's more than that, but let's say it's 10. Now it's 10. So it's 20% inflation. So when you go to the store and you say, well, this thing used to be $20 and now it's like 25, you might say, well, it's only a few bucks more. The only people that's going to say that is people that aren't living paycheck to paycheck. Because paycheck to paycheck, they're sitting there going, that's an extra $5. When did this happen? And then the next item they go to, that's an extra $3. And then this is an extra 5. This is extra 8. Before you know it, you have 2 bags of groceries that cost 120 bucks. Reality right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Tesla vehicles are history. That's right. Fremont, we talked about this on Wednesday, the S and X line at Fremont factory in California. They are cutting those lines out, stopping the Tesla S, Tesla X. They are going to build robots. Oh, that'll be nice. When I'm going to have like the Jetsons made robot going around picking up stuff, vacuuming, sweeping. Seriously? Who's going to? First of all, 80% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. Nobody's buying $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 robots. So you know who's going to be buying them? Their friends. Amazon, Oracle, Meta, corporations. And you know who else is going to be buying it? You, the taxpayer. And you're going, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. Because they're going to give your taxpayer money to these companies like Tesla and say, we want X amount of robots. And here's your government contract. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, that took your job. Just saying. You better have a wealth plan. And again, we started this 3 years ago, the countdown. And actually, it's going quite according to plan. Nostradamus. We have December 31st, 2026, the keys that I told you about. You can still do it. Okay. Don't worry. You need that 775 credit score. That is going to be major because that will help you out tremendously. And you need extra streams of revenue. And I don't know how that is going to happen. They're shutting off the TikTok for USA, some USA people who are making money. This is what's going to start happening. Things are going to start shutting down. Just saying. All right. By the way, there's a recall. Brian P., if he comes in here later, he always likes this, and I love it too. Recall, or shall I say lawsuit, for you healthy people. Hopefully, you're healthy, trying to stay antibiotic free, from food with antibiotics or what am I saying? Antibiotics. Antibiotics would be bad. I mean, would be good. That means something's bad in the food. But tainted food at Costco. That's right. It said no bad ingredients. Natural. Come to find out, they have some bad ingredient they're adding. Of course they are. How do you sell hundreds of chickens a day? Which is thousands. They have to grow fast. But I'm not saying it's steroids, it was something else. But again, there's going to be a class action lawsuit because people were like, hey, man, I thought you said there was no pesticides in this food. There was no bad ingredients. Come to find out, you were knowingly putting them in there and they admitted it. That's bad, ladies and gentlemen. They know they're doing it to you. You're the mark. Okay? Just saying. All right. Tesla vehicles are going to be history anyhow. First of all, again, let's just stop with all this nonsense, capitalism and freedom. America, it's all BS for you, the mom and pop businesses, so the rich can do whatever they want with their corporations. Let's get real. Tesla has been protected by the United States government for the last 20 years. What do I mean? They won't allow foreign competition inside of America, namely the number one country in the world that's coming up. By GDP, they're not number one. America's still number one, but they're going to be number one because they're efficient. And here's the problem: their vehicles cost less, does more, and therefore bringing them over here. That's why our Trumpster said 100% tariff. You know what's funny about that? Because you can do 100% tariff and 90% of their cars will still be less than a Tesla. Now, do you see why they've blocked it? The EU blocked it until late last year when Elon was trying to get the right wing people to overthrow or try to take control of EU countries. They said, no more protection. And that is why there's going to be a downward trend on how many vehicles they sell. So now he has the pivots to robots, robo taxis. It's all a fleece the whole time because it's marketing. But guess what? There's already companies outside the United States that already have robo taxis. They're already operational, but they're not going to allow them in America. So, do you guys see? You're the mark. So, due to lack of competition, American EV companies made here get to lollygag. They don't have any fear. They just say, okay, whatever we roll out here, it'll be fine. And we can charge 50, 70, 100, 120 G's. They'll eat it up. And sure enough, Americans did not disappoint, because then all of a sudden they said, yeah, we'll give you an 8-year loan, 10-year loan, like you own a supercar. That's what's funny. They're giving people supercar loans for designated for supercars. They used to be 10 years. They're giving people 8, 9, 10-year car notes on regular cars. Amazing. 50% depreciation within 2 years generally. And you're going to still be paying. Imagine buying a car for 100 G's and it's worth like 60 G's in 2 years. And all you did was pay down like 10 grand. The frick is going on? What could go wrong? Financial chaos, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, Canada is making a turn to China. What's going on? No financial chaos. That's what's going on. And mind you, manufacturing is cheaper. So why would I deal with America when you're telling me that you're going to hold a tariff against anything I sell to your citizens, when I don't want to do a tariff as high as you want to do for our citizens to buy from you? And now China rolls in and says, tariff? What tariff? We don't need to have a tariff, do we? And Canada's like, what are you saying? Well, how about a 2% tariff? Or 3% tariff for our already low prices from our manufacturing facilities. Canada's like, um, yeah, why are we messing around with American factories that cost us more money in the first place? They used to be our friends, so we just bought from them, just like you guys do. You know, if your friend's selling something, and even though you don't like it or it costs more than what you could go down to the store to go buy or on Amazon to buy, you say, they're a friend of mine, so I'll support my friend. So we'll just buy from them, and then they'll buy from us, and we'll be all good. But then when you turn the tide and say, well, we don't really care about you. You're our friends for the last 200 years. But you know what? We're going to throw up a tariff like 25% because you won't let us have Greenland. Or you're being friendly with China. And I'm like, so now you're trying to regulate the world on what they do instead of worrying about our own country. And what you're doing is making them go to our competitor, just like you did the farmers who have lost their businesses. They've lost their markets. So China, instead of ordering from our farmers in America, order it from farmers in Central and South America for less. They happily took that deal. They're like, oh, we'll take what you pay them. How about 30% less? That's right. Their economy's not like ours. 30% less. China said, yeah, no problem. Bet. Let's do it. Canada's doing the same thing. They're like, wait, we can do EVs, we can do we can do the phones, we get your manufacturing, and we have no tariffs. We just make an agreement, 2-3%. I don't even know what their agreement is, but I'm pretty sure it's like 2% or less. The same thing that would have happened with Obama's TPP, by the way. And by the way, the TPP was actually a unification of the Asian tariffs market to keep China in check. That's basically what it was. So when you said I rip it up, that allowed China now to negotiate with everybody. I'm just saying. And by the way, you know who ripped it up, right? The same guy that loves billionaires. He's he's a billionaire himself, so he's helping his billionaire friends. You rip it up, create financial chaos, so then you make it where we can just rape the United States of America and its citizens. And meanwhile, we don't care if we lose other markets because we don't rely on them. We can just raid the treasury like they're doing. All right. So it's very simple. You're the mark. You better figure out how you're not going to be the mark, because if you don't have something outside of America, they slash your passport off, clip it off. You don't have your passport no more. What you going to do? You're going to be an immigrant? Take that long walk through Mexico? Act like you tough? Trying to walk through cartel country with your familia? I don't think so. You think you're going to walk 1,000 miles? I don't think so. So where are you going to be? Living in the shack like it's 1900s? No running water? No electricity? Is that what you're going to be doing? Better be thinking about this. I'm pretty sure people are going to be like, man, can you believe this guy's video? He's dead now. But listen to what he was saying back then. How did he know? Because it's inevitable. You either have to reset, which gives you no reset because you would have to give up, and then somebody would have to take over world currency. America's not going to give up world currency. They will not. So it's going to have to be taken. And so enter BRICS. All right. That's why Canada is going over because they can make a better deal. In fact, why don't we just be precise on their deal? Because this is exactly what's happening, and other countries are doing the same thing. And they're saying, we're just going to bypass the 300, 400, 275-year-old country. We're thousands of years old. We were trading amongst ourselves before the United States became anything. So why don't we just rekindle our ancient trading? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. The world is bigger than the USA and it's older. All right. Canada deal with China. China's deal with Mexico. It just goes on and on and on and on. What the China Canada EV trade deal really means, I don't know. That's heat map. Um, that's going to be a problem because those vehicles are going to be in North American continent, rolling across the border, and people are going to be like, "What the heck? This is cool. How much did you pay?" And when somebody says something stupid like 40 or 35 G's, they're gonna be like, "No, you're lying." Um, okay, here we go. Canada is set to import tens of thousands of new electric vehicles from China every year. And it could soon invite a Chinese automaker to build a domestic factory. General Motors has also already killed the Chevy Bolt, one of the most anticipated EV releases of 2026. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that's called the future. Meanwhile, America's sitting there going, we want oil. We want oil. We don't want to increase our solar energy. We don't want to increase our energy. No, we'll build nuclear. We're going back to 1900s technology because, we can't get out of that 1900, 1800 mentality where we have to rule over certain segments and tell them what side of town to live on. Make sure that we squash them like a bug and keep a ceiling up top for the most part, most of them. So what if a few get by? But we want to make sure we keep people in check. We want to take away their rights like it's 1800. Women can't vote, slaves rolling around. Nobody cares. That's what we're talking about. We don't want to go to green energy. We don't want to go to solar. We don't want to go to hydro, even though we have hydrogen, even though we have solar. But we're not going to be spending $1 trillion on that. Why would we add to the energy grid? Because we're going to build data centers, right? Who pays for the data centers? Taxpayers. You're the mark. And by the way, I said this before and I'll say it again. You should be studying what happens when a data center moves into a United States city. Tap water runs dry because it sucks up the water. And after the water's sucked up, there's toxic chemicals in your ground and they're forever chemicals. Now, just like before, being near a nuclear blast area, you're going to have cancer and whatever else. Three-headed monsters, people coming out with half a leg and things like this when they're born. Yeah, yeah. And you guys out here, rah, rah, rah. Not you, not me, but a lot of people are. And I'm sitting there like, are you serious? A data center, you're going to allow this? I would not advise it. Not enough energy. So now, because it's going to cost more energy by the data centers, you, the taxpayer in that city, you are going to subsidize the cost by higher electric bills. Isn't this a glorious thing that you live in a communist system and don't even know it? I know. I know it's sad out here, ladies and gentlemen. So, anyhow, that's why they're moving over there because they have a deal with EV vehicles. I hope someone leaks my taxes. I can use 10 billion. Jonay, exactly. I want to know what happened with Doge leak. The Doge leak is a leak. They have our taxpayer information. I think a lot of people have missed the boat on this. I think we have an opportunity, taxpayers, because if they actually win this, do you know how many people are going to tell their friends, leak my tax returns for starters? Because I know me, I'd have been like 20 years old and I'd have been like, dudes, we work at the IRS right now. Seriously? Dudes got paid 10 billion because we leaked their tax information? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We gotta round up 5 friends out here. And you gotta tell them to go on social media and start saying that, hey, our tax returns were leaked. And then we're gonna leak them. Then they can sue. But here's the funny part, which is not funny. He's suing the IRS. He's suing taxpayers. He's suing United States citizens. That's where the money comes, people. Are we serious? Oh, and what's even better? The DOJ is under this administration. So let me get this straight. I'm suing my own DOJ. I wonder what's going to happen here. Why didn't you just make it 100 billion? You're the mark. So this is why the wealthy figure out ways to not pay taxes because they don't want to be the mark because they know what the deal is. That's why they create businesses to try to offset the taxes. And that's why you should create a business which is not in the top 10 or top 3 of our SSN Nation program for wealth, because a business is very hard because it is true capitalism when a usual mom and pop and OC like us, an ordinary citizen, tries to start a business. You're not running around getting any government contract. I mean, sure, there are some available that people get, but for the majority, you can't get a government contract. You can't get free taxes for 10 years. Come on. You don't have to pay anything for 10 years. Any re signing up for your business, nothing. You don't get that. You don't get any subsidies either because you're not going to go, well, we're going to hire 2,000 people. You're not, but you can say it. But the point is, you're not going to get any money. So you're not getting government contracts. You're not getting subsidies. You're not going to get the taxpayers to pay for your taxes on this location you're at. You're also not going to get, as a business, taxpayers to subsidize your electric bill at your place of business. You have to rely on customers coming through your door to buy product. You don't get subsidized. You're the mark. All right. Again, the dude is out here suing US taxpayers for taxes that he was going to release 10 years ago. After my audit, I'll release my taxes. And again, those eating up the shit, let him lift the pass. Nah, that's that. Nah, no biggie. When before, previous to this time frame, this timeline, if you did that, you wouldn't even be in the running anymore. You would have had to resign. There's a reason people started releasing their tax returns to make sure you're not compromised. Compromat is real because our enemy, Russia, and it's just like if a friend of yours, let's use a perfect example. Every kid here went to school. Every kid here saw or had to deal with bullies, right? So the you see your friends getting pummeled by these mean kids. Every year you go to school, they hang in their own little clique. Your friends who sit there and said, "Hey man, this is wrong. This you whatever. It's don't deal with these guys. Whatever." All of a sudden, a few years later, your friend gets to be class president, the football star, homecoming king. And then when you go to the cafeteria one day, this dude is sitting over there with the mean kids, joking, laughing, and then comes and tells you, "Oh, they're not that bad." Gaslight. You'd be like, "They've been messing with us ever since fifth grade. We're now juniors. What do you mean they're not that bad? They are like our mortal enemies. Not that bad. Oh, and by the way, man, I'm going to go hang out with him. And oh, by the way, I need cash from you guys. I need cash from you guys so I can go give it to him." Wait, what? What did you just say right now? That's what this is like. The betrayal, ladies and gentlemen, is what I'm getting at. The betrayal. This guy won't say anything bad about a dictator that's done killing, murder, mayhem. His whole regime. And all of a sudden, can't say one bad word. Compromat, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go. I'm 786 6 months. EV plays. Congratulations. Stay there. Stay in that range. In fact, I already know what's happening in EV plays. Just confirm or deny. Say no comment. But I know what's happening already. You're getting letters in the mail right now from a myriad of companies, and they're saying 0% interest until 2027. Well, I'm like, okay, that's 1 year. 0% interest for 14 payments, 0% interest for 18 payments, 0% interest for 24 payments. I know you are with that credit score. But have you gotten the one yet that says 0% interest for 36 months? Let me know. All right. Okay. By the way, there's a company that has come out. If you have a 600 credit score, you can get, I think it's a MasterCard from somebody called Olo or Oyo. It depends. If you're outside the country, OLLO is Oyo. If it's Spanish, but if it's Olo, American, 0% interest for 9 months. Even these guys are doing it. And you don't even need a 775 or higher. But again, after the 9 months, though, you're going to be paying like 30% interest. But the point is, you want 3 months, ladies and gentlemen, and he's in place. He put himself in position. So we're going to find out. But that's what you're going to have to do. Post-retirement travel. Another investor in the house who is the one. Mr. Worldwide 2 is in the house. Welcome again to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. I thought you were on your worldwide tour, but his tagline first. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we're out here doing. We're trying to help people. That's why you need your pen, pad, and paper. Did everybody see that gold and silver drop? It was a shocker. But you know why it was a shocker? Because when Trump announced the Federal Reserve person that's going to replace Powell, he actually worked for the Federal Reserve before? Wait a minute. Are we seriously going to have a person that may be qualified? According to the markets, gold and silver retreated rapidly. Were you able to make money because you needed to be in the stock market today? Gold and silver, basically a crash occurred because they are both over 30% drop. Silver was 115, 116. I looked up, it was 85. I was like, how long can you short this market? This is incredible. It just keeps dropping. 105, 101. Yeah, in fact, I'll just leave it. Okay. Just then I came back. It was at 85. I don't know what it ended up, but I was like, oh, all this free money. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love it. Then gold. It was like 5,400 last night. Early morning, it's 50, it's almost 51.76. And I'm like, this is going to keep going down. And it just 51.20, 51, 49. Thank you. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you have to know how to trade. You should be in the markets. For times like this, you should know how to trade, is my point. I mean, even if you don't trade at all, but you got to learn. So, what do we do with those? I say post retirement travel, another investor, another real estate buyer, another offshore real estate buyer. He's done the right thing, and he is Mr. Worldwide Tour. Mr. Worldwide 2 tour is coming up. So, once again, look at here. Did you guys see the stock market today because of everything? The financial chaos? Post retirement travel. I humbly appreciate you being a member of the channel. Thank you so much. And he brings this. I hope you backed up the truck today. I loaded up on SPY, QQQ. Those are the two you need to know. Right now, financial chaos, there's no reason to really go outside the box any longer. Sure, there's dividends. Oh, and by the way, get those REITs, real estate investment trust, ORC, AGNC, PSEC, maybe I'm going too fast. ORC, PSEC, AGNC, ARR, just to name a few. NLY, just to name a few. You want 13% to 19% return on your money and have a little stock appreciation over the next few years? Consider those. All right. And also consider after December 31st, 2026, I would consider putting in a stop loss for if that stock all of a sudden did something crazy like drop. You want to make sure that it's above your profit number, right? So all that money that you were getting at 13%, 14%, 15% dividends monthly, you want to keep the stock price above what you started with. So that way you keep all profits, because usually you own more in stock than you will receive in the dividend. So your stock price dropping all of a sudden means your bulk of your portfolio is going to be underwater. So you don't want to drop it below what your average purchase price is. Just saying. I agree with this 100. All the sharks were out. I agree with this wholeheartedly. Thank you for mentioning this post-retirement travel. I was remiss. But let me do some things, okay? Because I need people to do findhelp.org. I'm going to put it here on the screen. All of this. All right? We always do this. If you see this video in replay, just make sure if you're on mobile, make sure you click the first comment, tap it, and something will come up asking you about, do you want to see the live chat? But you have to swipe left. And then there'll be because there's menus that come up, and it'll ask you about live chat. You tap on that, then you can get in the live chat. That's the only way you can get to the link if this is not live. Or down below in the description box. That's the other spot, depending on the platform you're listening from. It will be there as well after this live stream. All right, let's go. That's very exciting. The SPY, QQQ, obviously. And by the way, the QQQ, SPY does give out a little dividends because they hold stocks that give out dividends. Just so I'm saying. It's not going to be major. But all I'm saying is they appreciate and you should be in those. The winners reside at SPY and QQQ. So that's why you should go there. First Lady made 28 million on her movie that flopped. Jeff Bezos paid 40 million for the whole thing. Good God. No one went to the premiere but POTUS. I'm confused. Don't worry. Jeff Bezos, they made a deal. This is why Amazon's one of the preferred choices. They made a deal. They get the government contracts. They get subsidies. They made a deal. That's how it works. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know what's happening out here. Yeah, that's the that it's a it's a grift as usual. First of all, I don't know what that was, but here's the point. She got paid. Whether the movie's a flop or not, she got paid. So who cares? That it never was about anybody else. It was about them. And the theaters also had to pay for the rights, ladies and gentlemen, up front. So now when there's empty theaters, they're not getting their money back. I don't understand. I just have bad words to say about her, so I'm not going to say anything. All I'm going to I shouldn't say anything. I'm going to say one thing. Uh, a person comes over from another country on a student. Okay, I won't say what visa because I don't really remember, but I think it was on a visa that does not allow you to work. That's the part. That's the part. The visa that doesn't allow you to work, but she does work as a model. Then she gets an Einstein visa when she hasn't even graduated from college. Go figure. Then she's able to become a US citizen after 12 years, 10 to 12 years. But that's the part. That's the weirdest thing, right? But nobody cares that she came here basically illegally because when you come over here with a regular visa that you're not supposed to work, she worked. She did more than that. You can find some little X-rated type stuff. Um, it's crazy that she's the first lady. Post retirement travel. I'm flying to Punta Cana this Sunday. We'll check on the Galaxy project. Also, we'll be at the Hard Rock for Super Bowl. It's on. By the way, I didn't tell you guys. I told somebody else. I didn't even tell you guys who to pick, did I? God dog it. Well, I might have. I hopefully I told you guys one time who I was picking because 4 months ago I made the bet for Seattle to make it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. It was like week 5 or 6. But on the other side of the fence, I took a long shot, and it was the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was a long shot, yes, but they didn't do it. That was just a long shot. But those are I always pick two, like I told you guys. I pick two. Baseball is simple. Baseball, I just picked the top two teams, whoever won last year or whoever's in the World Series last year. I just picked them for the next year. So yes, the Dodgers. I chose them last year, so but they were expected to win, unfortunately. Unlike the Seattle Seahawks. Just saying. All right. Very happy to hear this because they're gonna do it right. That's for sure. Tamara Larry in the house. Another investor is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And she brings her simple tagline. Hello, all. Hello to you. Tell the young guns, keep up the faith, keep up the hard work, and let them know the SSN Nation way. Make sure they get their debt reduced. Make sure they get their credit score to 775. Make sure they stay away from melting ice. Just saying. All right. EV Play says PRT. Please check for me what's going on. Universe Building B. Okay. Post retirement travel. He's talking to you. Brian P. Mr. Dividend has arrived. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night live stream. That's right, Mr. Dividend. That means stocks, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he does. He's into it. He's making it happen. He's got his own control. He's got the world in his hands. Happy day, Eric brings his tagline. I hope all is well with you and your family. It's still going. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. Give it a one piece, everybody. Let the YouTube guys know that you're in the house. The Twitch guys, the Facebook guys, the podcast guys, iHeartRadio, all you guys. Come on. Show some love. It ain't easy out here. Come on. It's real in the field. Not yet on 36 months, but I know you got all the others. That's right. Not yet. I predicted in about 6 to 8 months. So we should be there 6 months from now. Right. I've already put it in the ethos. All right. Will do, and give you a report when I get back on February 11th. Oh, he's going to go on a little mini worldwide tour. All right. Thank you. He says, awesome. Awesome. We all want to know. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You want grants? You want help? That's the place to go. Findhelp.org. Put in your zip code. Make the phone call to the nonprofit. See if they're going to charge you for something or not. Again, there's so many different things at findhelp.org. It's crazy. All right. 211 is for people with mental health. It's also on the findhelp.org as well, but it's standalone. You can call on your phone 211 if you know somebody that needs mental help. But again, be very, very careful if you're in the state of Florida, because they'll kidnap you or kidnap that person and say they were a threat to themselves, put you in some facility, and then say, prove it. So when you're acting irrational for them, but rational for everybody who's being kidnapped, they call you irrational because you're going, I don't belong here. I wasn't trying to kill myself. I wasn't trying to hurt myself. Why am I staying here? Why won't you let me out? Here, take these pills to calm down. They drug you up. Then they won't release you. Then if you get a lawyer involved, the lawyer says, I want 5 to 10 grand, knowing full well that no matter what he does, he can't get you out. I know. It's diabolical in the state of Florida. All right, just saying. I got a lot. It's all this stuff in your head that you know about America. Just like, I'll give you guys a little tidbit. You know when there was COVID? And when the state of Florida, they were saying, well, they didn't really want to report the numbers, or they were lowballing the numbers. A friend of mine works at a mortuary. That's where they were putting the bodies, at mortuaries. So therefore, it wouldn't be counted. I know, diabolical. Okay. Check out your emails, man. I don't even want to check out my emails. You know why? Because first of all, I was going over here for the heat map to go check out this Canada deal, because now they're talking about hydroelectric in Quebec for China to build for the Canada deal, the EV cars. That's right. They're actually coming in to help them build infrastructure. Who wouldn't want that? That's the trade deal. Oh my God. How sick can you get? America's sitting over here sucking wind like they want to be in the 1910s, 1830s. This is unreal. Instead of handling business. But hey, this is what happens when you have trust fund kids running the country. They just want their rich friends to get richer. And you're going to pay the tax. You are the mark. All right. I'm going to be logging in to the live stream. I got to get myself a little bit of water. So let me do it like a 40-some second video. So that means this one. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you tell your friends to come, because it is financial chaos. And we have a wealth plan here. You've heard it all. Down here, we had people in the comments section making it SPY, QQQ. You should have loaded up the truck. If not today, then you should do it early morning when the prices are still down. A huge drop today. Opportunity galore. And the gold and silver stackers, I don't know about you, but it's got to hurt if you would have bought at 500 or sorry, 5,500 gold, 5,300, and now it's under 5. That's crazy. And if you would have bought at 115, 105, and it's, I don't know if it ended at 85, 86 or went up to 90, but damn, a bloodbath. And you know what's funny? Oh, we got to talk about this on the way back. All right, I'll see you guys in about 45 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Come back. We got something to talk about because that is based on wealth is stacking a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver. That's just true. Over time, it will erase. It'll go back over 5Gs, 5,500. It'll go back over 118, 117. But maybe not now for a little while. It all depends on what's going to happen around the world. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. Just keep that in mind. But again, you guys are ahead of the curve. It doesn't really matter, does it? We'll talk about it. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's go.
Come on, come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Oh, by the way, you guys see that? F average, be legendary. You know where you can go get this. StopStrugglingNow.com. This is our gear. All right, let's go. All right. Now, where was I? I was just going to get into something, and now I forgot all about it on that long walk to get me some water real quick just to come back. And now I lost my train of thought. It's all right. We will keep going. So we have the find help. Now, where I was going with this is I cannot forget this. I'm going to check the emails. We have something else that I want outside the US, a debit card that uses crypto. A crypto MasterCard debit card. Bancus. They have a tap feature plastic card. They also have a metal card. The plastic card costs $45 shipped. And if you live in the US, it takes 2 to 3 weeks. If you live in another country, another country's mail service is a little different. That means it could be a month. That's why, or a month and a half. You got to order now because it comes from Mexico City, outside the US jurisdiction. And if you are doing business with family and friends, meaning I want to make money in another country, I want to send you money. What better way than to load it onto a card? The one thing, though, is that you load the debit card with crypto. Uh-oh. Looks like I can't log in. That's bad. So anyhow, you do the debit card you load it with crypto, and the beauty of this card is that as long as another person has the card, I can send you money, no fee. So therefore, you can withdraw. Whether it's the ATM, you won't be able to go to a bank. You want to know why? It's a beautiful feature. It's like a black card situation. It has no name on it. That's right. Those exist, ladies and gentlemen. No name. So if you lose it, obviously somebody's going to look at it and be like, well, they won't know your PIN number and they won't know your zip code, right? But no name. So therefore, you can't get a cash advance because at a bank, they track you. So there's no way you're going to get away with, oh, yeah, I want to come in here and withdraw about 5Gs on my card. And you're not going to get to know who I am. No, you live in America. You're tracked, ladies and gentlemen. They want to make sure that you pay tax on something or figure out why you have this money and what's going on. So, again, the funniest thing, where do you know where you live? It's funny as hell. Um, I do have emails incoming. We know there's going to be recalls. So this is Bancus, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put a link in the chat room where you can download the app. That's all you have to do. Use the link. Yes, you can make money from this, by the way, too. So when you refer people and they buy a card, you can make money. The first way. The second way is when somebody uploads, because they charge 4%, I believe they give 1% to the person that referred, and the 3% goes to the company for whatever. I think that's the breakdown. But nonetheless, if you want to know the real breakdown, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, there is a conference call. All right. There's one on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but I don't know where, if they use the same Zoom. I don't think so. Hold on, I got biometrics to deal with. That's right. Now, some of us don't have to worry about biometrics. You know why? Because we're already in the system, right? Okay. Uh-oh. Swipe down to refresh. This is not good. I messed up. I'm sitting here talking. I messed up. So now I got to figure something out. Okay. Anyhow, I put a link in the chat room. 2 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday and Thursday is the Zoom call. They have one on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but I don't know that time. So I'll have to find that out. So next week I can do this. Some of you have already ordered the card. You did the right thing because they're in Mexico City. And also, you can send people money who has the card. That's why you want other people to have the card, because especially if you're family members and your kid goes off to school, or your parents need money, or your whoever, friends, family, loved ones, acquaintances, they need money and they're nowhere around. Hey, you got a Bancus card? Yep. I'll just send it to you. I just need your email address. So if you send them 1,000, they get 1,000. There's no fee. It's in house, and that means it's cross borders. Just saying, no Zelle to go through where they need your info and all this crap. Nope, none of that. It's a beautiful thing, set up beautifully. So that is the keys. And every time somebody loads their card, they have to load. You have to load it with crypto, USDT or USDC. Every time you load it, then you can use your MasterCard. That's simple. Or you can send it to somebody else. Or you can just let it sit, but it sits, Mexico City is controlling this. Outside the USA jurisdiction. Just saying. All right. There it is. Okay, those are the first keys. Now we got to get to the other keys. You guys need to reduce your debt, then you need debt resolution, debt consolidation, right? It's very simple. So what do? You go to email, you have to email Tracy dot sharp. Tracy is spelled TRACY dot sharp, SHARPE, at moneyladder.com. That pretty cool? That work? All right. Tracy used to work for another company when she came on, like over a year and a half ago. And in the chat room, I have a link to the YouTube video that she discusses what she can do for you. Or you can just email her and let her know you're from SSN Nation. Eric told me to give you an email, and I need you to help me out with whatever you need helped out with. Don't file bankruptcy. Don't worry about debt collectors. Don't just, this is what she does. She tries to help you pay down your debt for less than half a price, right? Let's just say it varies. But 1 year to 2 years, you'll thank yourself later because it'll say paid in full instead of a negative derogatory mark. That's what you want. And then your credit can improve, and now you're off to the races. All right, let's go. Sound is on. Check your settings, Brian. Yep, sound is on. It shows. Check, check. He had this problem the other day. I don't know what is going on out here. So, anyhow, I got to do this because I got a recalls that we're going to have to deal with for your health, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of your health, I'm going to have to figure out when I'm going to have to do something with this health situation because we have a protocol for health situations out here. Um, I have to give credit where credit is due because my wife is in a nutritional supplements. She actually is a contract manufacturer. So she has made this incredible program with my limited input. Come on, man. We got a problem. I can't log in with that. It's not working. Um, so anyhow, you can go to stayinbalance2.com, but it's women and men, iodine product. If you're not allergic to iodine, that's a good thing. That is very good for you. Your thyroid is a cleaner, and your thyroid needs to be very strong and powerful for the toxins that can get through into your bloodstream and into your brains and everything else. So you got to make sure your thyroid is efficient. There's nothing hardly in food where you can get iodine anymore. So that's where you go. Stayinbalance2.com, ladies and gentlemen. All right. There's no promo for it. Sorry. It's a business of over 30 years. So nope, no promos, no special, mom and pop business. You have to pay. Sorry. Not giving any free stuff away either. Sorry. Can't be done. All right. But that's where you go. You can find out information and that and others. If you're a woman and have menopause situations or have a thing with your monthly, that's a problem. Cramping, over cramping, there's a reason because your body starts producing progesterone in your mid 30s, roughly. That's when menopause starts. People have them night sweats, hot flashes, and all that stuff, right? Go check it out. There's letters, there's Townsend letter there, there's information there that you can read free. Check it out, then you can order the product. She actually did something. She actually did reduce the product, the price on products. So that helps you. All right. Go check it out. Men, women, even your children, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. There's a hormone imbalance. Okay. Let me let me go do something else then. Um hold on. Oh, hold up. I didn't realize there's another way. I just learned something new right now. All right. Let's get into it. Because your health is your wealth, ladies and gentlemen. This financial chaos is putting you under stress, duress. Some of you that look like me, brown or black, you could be under stress if you're in an ICE situations. Armed mass people running around talking about, are you a US citizen? Or trying to grab you while saying, are you a US citizen? Don't resist as they pummel you a little bit. Um, that would put people on edge because normally when you see mass people with weapons, you're thinking they're the bad guys. So now you don't know how to react when they're supposed to be, well, are they good guys? I don't see how they're good guys, but I I'm just saying my natural instinct when some dude rolls up on me and has looking like they got weapons and stuff on them and they're asking me like, "Hey," I'm like, I don't answer "Heys." You know, I'm like, I don't know you. I don't see you, but you're looking like a op to me and you walking up on me with other people behind you. I'm like, hold up, wearing mask. I'm thinking, I know who you are, but I don't consider you good guys because you're grabbing American citizens regardless. So I'm like, hold up, man. So I wouldn't be too, I don't feel too comfortable. And if you look Latin, you damn sure ain't comfortable. All right. Be in the wrong place at the wrong time, getting hemmed up. Goldman borrows from the government. Is that Goldman Sachs? Oh my. Uh-oh. 1/3 of Pacific Island fish is contaminated with microplastics. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. What a shocker. What could go wrong throwing garbage in the oceans for the last 100 years? What could go wrong? Oh, jeez. And why would you not have plastic that dissolves? That exists, but it's too late. Our supplies are it contaminated. Good luck, Americans. Let's go. Hey, just blame Brian P for this. All right. Sorry, I'm just kidding, ladies. I'm kidding, Brian P, Mr. Dividend. I'm kidding. There's the link, ladies and gentlemen. Share the link. Contamination rate of Fijian fish far exceeds worldwide averages. Jesus, man. From the coral coastlines of Tonga to the remote sandy atolls of Tavula, microscopic synthetic fibers are infiltrating the region's species and food system. Imagine that. You guys can read it yourself. This is not anything. This is why you're going to have to figure out your food supply and sources. Okay? 100 underlined twice. Thank you so much. The True Trill's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream once again. And thank you. I humbly appreciate the donation. Thank you so much, man. Greatly appreciated. 100 underlined twice. Exactly. Thank you. What's good, man? Nothing is good except for the gold and silver shorts. Raise the roof. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It was a good couple thousand. And actually I didn't even run the whole day. I was just like enjoying it. I was just sitting there like, oh, this is just rolling downhill. I'm not even going to stop the freight train. I thought about it, but I said, you know what? It wasn't two. It was like 1,800. So I said, all right, I guess 1,800 is cool. I don't need to go any further. That exceeds what I wanted to do anyhow. But today was like awesome. All right. Crazy news. It keeps going. It keeps going, ladies and gentlemen. That unfortunately, they want you to sign up for something called climate. So unfortunately, that's not good. Oh, here we go. Okay, we have the source. We have something else concerning threat lurking in seafood. So again, all this garbage, trash that people dumping, thinking, oh yeah, it'll just disintegrate somehow. Nope, they're forever. And now, and they're finding plastic particles in people. All right, so think about that. Okay, so here we go. I believe people in North America, Europe, and Oce- Oceania, Ocean, I don't know where this is, Oceania, are at higher risk of exposure to forever chemicals because of global fish trade, according to a study. Did you guys see this? People in North America, Europe, and Oceania, that's what it should be, are at higher risk of exposure to forever chemicals. Here you go. I'm just going to give this to you. Now you're thinking maybe I should start growing my stuff in the backyard. By the way, crazy news. This is one of the reasons why the wife, when she does her products, she sources it. So again, stay in balance two. Stay in balance, the number two.com. All right, go check it out. I bought the dip on silver and gold and buying more this weekend. You think it's a dip? I find that interesting. I am not sure it's a dip. The only reason is because it was a short squeeze. See, what happened is that's the way I look at it. That's why I said it was a short squeeze, Monday and Wednesday. Um, because liquidity, which was not the mom and pop coin stores, they had no liquidity. People were coming in wanting to sell their gold and silver, and guess what happened? Coin dealer said, I can't buy because the price went up. And now, if they buy, they're worried about the price dropping back down like it did. So they were like halting buying at the price. They were going to buy at 20% less, 30% less. Anybody who was buying was going to take a 20, 30% less. So again, gold and silver stackers, this is what I've always said. That's why I always had my point of view, just a little bit. Because when you call it SHIT hits the fan, you're thinking, oh, I'm gold. Well, guess what? It just hit the fan. And you found out what happens. The same thing that always happens. All of a sudden, the government says we're not giving out any more silver. All of a sudden, the coin dealers don't have money. And now, because there's been a run, people have come in to buy, and then they go and buy. And so now they don't have any more money to buy when these people are rushing through the door saying, hey, man, I want you to buy my silver for 110. I need you to buy my gold bar for 5,000, 5,500 today, anywhere around there. They can't buy it. You effed around and found out exactly what always happens. And what's worse is if America wasn't America and it actually crashed and burned, you would not get the COMEX price. You wouldn't have gotten 5,500 or 5,400 for your gold. You would have gotten the same thing you got now. Oh, we'll buy it, but for 30% less because we don't know what's happening. Or they'll treat you like Venezuela when Venezuela did their collapse a few years ago, and Colombia said, we're not going to pay that. We'll just give you half price because we know you're running from Venezuela. We're not going to pay you the normal price. Take it or leave it. And since they had no money, got to take it. So again, it proves the point time and time again when the price actually does go up crazily or goes up to a value, all of a sudden, no buyers in sight, won't pay you, lowball you to protect them, which is, rightfully so. I can't be upset. But that's the whole point. It's kind of crazy. But now they're vindicated because they didn't buy at 5,400. They didn't buy at 5,200, right? Some of them did. Now they're holding the bag at that higher number. But now some of the people that wanted to sell is sitting there crying because they said, well, I could have, if you'd have bought this at 5,450, we'd have been good. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, they did. What are they doing? Let's go. Oh, cryptocurrency down to 82K. Did anybody buy any more? I'm just saying it's not acting like a real asset, is it? When you have the economy in a flux and it goes down just like the stock market. I mean, that's crazy, right? Gold and silver will go down too. You know why? Because people said, I'm taking it out. The papers, gold and silver, they're saying, I'm taking that out. And I'm buying SPY, QQQ, NAS 30, whatever. They're doing all kinds because there was a buying opportunity today. So they're liquidating. They're going, man, I don't need this stuff right now. Let me, whether it was paper or whether it's physical, they're trying to figure out how to offload it. And then they're going to turn around and buy these stocks, SPY, QQQ, which, and some other things. They might be buying Tesla. They might be buying Amazon or any of the Magnificent Seven. So that's what we're talking about here. Where's the commodities? Okay. So silver plunges 30%, worst day since 1980. Yeah, but it still beats the $25 or $29 it was from a year ago or so. So unless it dropped all the way back down to $30, which is unlikely. Okay, oil is at 65, which is a relief for the regional guys. Metals, palladium, seven, oh man, dropped 15%. Gold all the way down to 48.79. Glorious. Platinum all the way down to 221.78. Silver all the way down to $85. Copper back down to 5.9. Bloodbath, to say the least. That was a bloodbath, ladies and gentlemen. US markets, another bloodbath. Well, early on it was worse. Then it came, you know how it always does. Uh, in my opinion, it came back. Hold on. Where's the? I don't want the Dow 30. First of all, let me check Treasuries. 10-year 4.2. Sorry, mortgage holders. No love. You're gonna still be in the 5.7s or whatever. Um. Okay, let's go see Dow 30 then. Fine. Let's see what's happening. Um. As I'm doing that, oh, okay. Computer's taking a sweet time. Apple, the big winner. Or is it really? 259 changed 1%. Or did it change? No, 0.46. Okay, fine. Amgen, down. They got downs. Oh, they're going by Dow 30, not the actual best ones. Microsoft, down. Nvidia, down. Procter and Gamble, the good company. Sherwin Williams, Walmart, plus. Okay. JP Morgan, nothing happened really. 0.53 cents or something, no biggie. Um, okay. NASDAQ 100. All right. Let's get back to it. I won't go into that any further, but that is cold blooded with the. This is not going to stop with contamination with the baby food recall. Once again, because of plastic pieces, Gerber recalls arrowroot biscuits because of plastic pieces. Oh my goodness. Wow. And this isn't even on like NBC and all this stuff. Gerber arrowroot biscuits. How do you F up biscuits? CM, oh my goodness. Best before October 2026. This is how financial chaos continues. Your people are worried about what they eat, worried about walking in the street, worried about if they're going to have a job, worried about if they can pay their bills, and meanwhile, your rights are being stripped from you. That's how you do it. Financial chaos. Now, in order to get around it, under it, over it, through it, you're going to have to make plans. You're the CEO of your life. You're going to have to figure it out. But the one thing is, you know what people are going to buy? Stocks, because that's the most liquid, that if you actually make money, you could actually do something, right? You can build wealth. So, like I was saying about trading earlier, I use the broker CoinEx because it's not regulated by the United States government. Notice I'm acting just like an EU, just like other countries who go, you know what? I think it's kind of risky to mess around with you guys. Oh, and by the way, speaking of gold and silver, some of the countries have their gold and silver sitting inside the United States. That's right. And they requested, hey, you know what? I think we should get our physical gold. And guess what happened? You can guess, right? They said, no, I don't think so. This is why not your keys, not your money. The same rules apply for crypto is the same rules apply for you keeping your money at the bank. It ain't your key to the vault, so therefore it's their money. All right, same thing. Now, speaking of a broker for trading, start with CoinX. Here's a link. Everybody who signs up with CoinX can refer other people. Yes, they actually give you a little bit of their, because they brokers charge a fee for every trade, and they actually give you a little bit of that trade, right? So I use them. Now, they're outside the US once again, not in US jurisdiction. They use crypto. You upload crypto. They take a bunch: USDC, USDT, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm missing something, but nonetheless, you know the cheapest ones: USDT, USDC. That's the cheapest ones. Otherwise, you're going to have it off the blockchain is going to charge you. So anyhow, let's get to the Gerber recall. If I didn't put it in the chat room, I'm going to put it in right now. You got to do this. All right. So I bought the dip on silver and gold and buying more this weekend. Where are you buying? Are you buying paper or physical? Because I'm pretty sure there's some people that's going to be selling. That's going to be selling. I'm pretty sure the coin dealers are, well, they don't have anything to sell, but I'm I'm pretty sure people were trying to sell their gold and silver while it was dropping. Back to 85 for silver, back to 4,800 for gold. Wow. Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's your threat in the food supply once again. There you go. MDA0214 in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. An investor is in the house. Listen to Kathy Wood. She believes gold and silver will drop hard. She's not the only one. There's other people that said that. She's been saying it for a while. Well, I don't know about a while, but all I know is in the last 2 weeks, it rose hard. And people should have been able to take advantage of that riding up, except here's the problem. Like MDA0214, financially, he does stock trading as well. The problem is people with the physical gold, I don't know what you could do, because you could not go to the coin dealers unless you went early when it was a lower price. The coin dealers ran out of being able to buy. So they said, we're closing our doors for the most part. And they ran out of people who came to their place and bought everything. So they are sitting on a hoard of cash. They're not selling. So then you would have to turn online. And online, they were taking about a 30%, you'd have to take a 20 to 30% cut off of the price. And most onlines weren't even accepting anything in house either. They were like, we're not buying. If you want, we'll sell, but we're not buying. Because they too were thinking, this is impossible. This is not right. This is not even sustainable, is it? No, it was a short squeeze. Again, is the short squeeze over? I believe it is. It's a short squeeze. It was, it, this was an anomaly because there's people asking for their gold. So then other people were trying to get their hands on gold because of allocated versus unallocated. Banks were sitting there like losing their minds. People are sitting there going, hey, I want my delivery. And they're like, sorry, hold on. And now they're not so much because it dropped so much. Now it's subsided a little bit. So she has every reason to be correct that it could go lower. But obviously, it went down to a level today that kind of makes a little bit more sense. Gold is still well above what it should be. But the fact of the matter is, I I could see where people start going, well, I'm going to go back into um, securities because the dip is here. All that money that got sucked out into gold and silver and precious metals, now all of a sudden people were trying to off it, and a lot of people had paper, so they could sell it, and then they sitting here on the sidelines going today, okay, let's put some back in, and there we have it. That's the easiest way I look at it. We'll see. Buy your treasury bills every week. You'll never lose the principal, and it's state tax free. Keep a pile of cash. I like it. The only thing I don't really like is that, yeah, I know, the the interest part. But yeah, as long as you're not, see, this is okay. I this is one of the reasons I never say the treasury part. Yes, in your lifetime, it's been good. But the rest of the world is sitting there going, financial chaos. Wealth plan that we have does not include financial chaos. So, since there's financial chaos, we're going to dump the treasuries because we don't feel safe for this ridiculous American agenda about creating more debt. It's not sustainable. We ran the numbers. This is going to crash. We don't want to be holding the bag. We'll let America hold their own bag. And that's why the Federal Reserve buys up the treasuries and buys up all kind of crap, because less and less people are saying, I don't want them. American citizens holding the bag. But the rest of the world's like, man, this isn't looking good. This is not looking good. So again, the number one market in the world is the United States stock market, treasuries, bonds. And so these companies are not companies, but um, municipalities, cities, states, or provinces from other countries, they put in a fund, then they come buy treasuries for the US. That's why our treasuries, our stocks, and everything keep rising, is because it's not the American people and just the wealthy. You have people from all over the world. Saudi Arabia Wealth Fund. Oh yeah, we'll spend a few hundred billion here, a few hundred billion there. Qatar, we'll spend a few hundred million, 100 billion. We'll spend 500 billion here and there and buy securities. EU, every country sends money to US to buy securities, stocks. So that's why our stock market is number one. It could easily turn to whoever's holding world currency, and their companies, all of a sudden, they run a debt program where they're helping their companies achieve greatness, and they're on the edge of some of the best technological advances and on the edge of everything, which is China. And so that's what we used to be. And so now they'll buy their securities, which is why the yuan is being used a little more than before. So, and get this, all currencies against the US dollar has increased. The US dollar has decreased against other currencies. So that's why people are saying, I'm not going to be holding the bag with these treasuries. You can hold the bag, American citizens, but we ain't holding it. We had our run. It's beautiful, but guess what? We can invest elsewhere. And we can still just invest in the stock market, which is what a lot of these nations do. But I agree with this nonetheless. I agree with that message, because that keeps you balanced. And of course, you need that duffel bag of cash, like 10 trillion gone, good, and silver. There we go. There we go. Exactly. So when that happens, people are going to move, they're going to get money, and they're going to move to something else. So after you get the Coinex, by the way, if you decide to go trading, I always say, I haven't talked about this in about a week or two, but get the Candlestick Bible. I'm going to put a link here. If you haven't traded before, go get this. Learn. Don't just jump in. And at Coinex, you can get a demo account, and you get up to, well, you can put in whatever you want. Probably. I just never went past $5,000. I just thought it was always $5,000, but maybe you can put in more in your demo account to practice and learn at the same time. So there you go. Gave you two things, because on a run day like today, you need it to be in. You can make money by buying the actual stock or gold, or not buy gold or silver, sell it or something. I don't know. But if you're in the stock market, you can trade everything. So when there's a run like on gold and silver, you could have been in on that run going down. And so you would have had a nice profitable day. And just like SPY, QQQ, and all that, It dropped. You could have bet on the short again. You could be winning. Now, when it rises, because next week it should rise, as it did come back at midday when after people realized who the Fed chair was going to be, it was like, okay, the guy does have some talent, not like everybody else that he hires. It's really is in the wrong position. This guy has a little, but again, I already know the questions that were asked. Are you going to try and reduce the Federal Reserve rate? The answer is yes. That helps corporations, i.e., the stock market corporations. So do you understand? He's got a vote, and I think they already had four others. So they're pretty close. They had five people probably this last time that voted, four or five to vote to go reduce the rate. But you also had the majority saying, a few other people saying, no, we're not going to do that. And then you had enough to say, just stay steady. So that's what happened. But now he gets another person. So that might be five. They're still going to need another two or so. But the point is, they'll get there. They'll get there. Because sooner or later, somebody's going to go, we're going to have to stimulate the liquidity. We're going to have to reduce the rate to allow our companies, corporations, and our banks to actually lend at a lower rate. It has nothing to, people go, it's for the deficit. It's not. You're not paying the deficit anytime soon. I don't even care if you have 0% interest. How's that going to work? You owe people 4.4% to 4.5% on the treasuries, on the bonds. So that's not going to change. So what if the federal rate goes to zero? You're still going to owe the money. So it makes no sense. You're going to print more money and therefore cause more inflation. So again, financial chaos all over the place. And some place where 93% of the stock market is owned by the top 10%, that's where you need to reside. That's as far as I'm concerned. I reside where the rich guys reside. Like I said, I've always had a policy. Whatever the rich guys are doing, I'm doing it. Automobile industry, I'm in. Real estate, I'm in. Owning corporations, I'm in. Just saying. At one time, travel agencies where you called up and had an office and people had brochures and they would come in, you could see videos and all that. Guys were making tons of money, free travel around the world. I'm in. Everything that made money, I'm in. And who controls it? I'm in. Now that I got a little older, I don't get to get in AI or anything like that. But maybe, just maybe. Okay, there's the CoinX, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, if you want to start trading, learn. Candlestick Bible. If I didn't put it in yet, here it is. Okay. I'm not going to be on here much longer. We're almost at 2 hours and we may have some more things to chat about, but I'm not going to be on much longer. People are laying down some very valuable information. That's why you should always have your pen, pads, and paper. Check her page for details. She always shows where she's pulling her data from and gives a history lesson. I love that. Kathy Wood, I used to like her a lot, but she kept shilling for Tesla at one time. And I was like, why are you doing this? She's the reason that kept going up because she believed in it so much and everybody else. And she was the winner, the darling of Wall Street and doing very, very well. Tesla still has went from, which I cannot believe, at one time it was around 100, 106, 107, somewhere like that. It's at 400 and they got robots to help keep the price up there. It's incredible. But yeah, she's always does she has the data. I'm still up. OK Silver in USOR. It's a meme coin. Done. Took out my original investment, house money now. Taking out tonight again. If this up almost 1,000,000% from open date for real. No, man. What are you saying? It went back up. Hold on. We can just go look, right? USOR. It lost like 800. I don't remember what it was. Let's just go look. What do you mean it got back up off the canvas? It looks like it did because it says it's 0.03. It wasn't it like 0.00? Let's go see what. Oh, hold on. That's U.S. oil. Wait. Wasn't it USOR? Wasn't it USOR? I thought it was. Wasn't it? Yeah, I thought it was USOR. Coin. I thought it was. That's an oil reserve. U.S. oil reserve. Okay, hold on. Oh man, I gotta. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, it's a USOR. It's a meme coin. I thought it was USOR. Okay, it looks like I don't have it right, ladies and gentlemen. That's U.S. oil reserves. I put in crypto. SOR crypto. Why is this not coming up? Because that's the U.S. oil reserve. Um, Government backed asset or oh, are you serious? It is US oil. Really? Are you What the heck's going on? Okay, is this yeah, it is on Coin Market Cap. It's 3 cents. I could have sworn it was like 0.00 something. And there was a big upside. People sold. I mean, is this the new one that we looked at the other day? Okay. Okay, hold on. We got a chart. Where's the chart at? There's no chart. It's set X mode on Coin Market Cap now. It's rising all day. 0.03 from 0.01. Was this the one we were talking about? Then you are up big time. So let me go look at something. Point zero. No, this isn't the one. It was 0.00. So this is something different. Okay. Yeah, it had a nice day today, 24 hours. It went, like I say, from 0.018 to point, basically that's double. 100%. Went 100% today. In the last 24 hours, I'll say. That's what basically happened. Rise, rise, rise. Cool. Congratulations on that, man. Cool. Awesome, man. If you got, I don't know what the early prices were, but that's awesome. They have a max supply of 999 million. Okay, so 1 billion. Interesting. Volume of market cap 40%, 35.8 million market cap. So that means that's interesting. All right. Well, congratulations on the 100% in one day. If I don't know what it started at or whatever, but here, I'll do it this way. I'll just do it this way. Okay, here's the spike. Looks like, oh, it started January 8th. It went all the way up to, so this, is this, okay, maybe this is the one. Went all the way up to 7 cents on the 20th. Then on the 21st, it's down to 2 cents. And then on the 22nd, it's down to point, this is the one, 0.006 a week ago. Then it goes to 0.17. Then it goes back to 0.015. Then it goes back up to 0.27. Then drops all the way back down to 0.018. And then today, It goes up to 0.03. Very, man, this is escalating up and down, up and down. That looks like, well, obviously the guy sold at the top at 0.07, and that would have been a few days ago. But you'd be behind if you were in that ballpark. It would have, but there you could have only been in that for one day. It went from the 20th to the 21st. So after that, it's down to under $2. So everybody, well, whoever that is, everybody pretty much is in the money if they would have just invested any time, because 0.27 is where a lot of people should have. I don't know volumes, but can't see volumes, but there you go. So I guess everybody's ahead except for on the 28th, it went up to 0.04. And then it dropped right back down to 0.02. And then it even went further down to 0.02, 0.018 again, and then back up to 0.034. That's volatility. Okay. Again, opportunities galore. Thank you for mentioning it. Maybe somebody will look into it further. Uh, let's go. MDA. MDA. Yes. I started making money. Actually, hold on. I gotta tell the story. No, I started off and everything went down, down. So 200 down. And then today, because I shorted the gold and the silver and just watched, it was like over 1,000. So I made a comeback just in one day. So it's a beautiful thing. So what can I say? And I went past my what I wanted to stop at, but I was just like, oh, this is going to keep going down. It's like a fire sale. And it didn't take too long either. It was beautiful to watch. It was funny. Watch, go, mind my business. Because I was like, this is just going to keep going down. People have to sell. They're getting called, margin calls, because I'm sure people were like betting it was going to go higher. And they're just like, oh, no, no, no. So it's basically just a fire sale. Poof, 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 poof. I was like, oh my God, this isn't going to be good, because the paper guys were getting killed. You start making money. Yep. No, but I didn't know. Again, I was down 210 or something. So then I was a little upset. I was like, dang, man, I thought I had this thing. And I was like, okay, we'll still hang cool. And so today was a good day. Erase my L's. So, and a lot of breathing room too. It's at 0.35. Yep, exactly. She's still believing it. She's counting on robo. Yeah, she's always been counting. She's been talking about robo taxis for the last 9 years. She's also big on AI, I know, but unfortunately, it's not good for the humans, but it's good for companies. She only invests in AI, so her takes are different from other investors. I don't recommend, well, she, again, her investments are different because remember, they get the best of both worlds. They get to invest at the lower price. Then when they, like OpenAI is going to do an IPO. So everybody who bought their cheap stuff before that, then they do an IPO, even if it goes up to $10, all these people win, right? And that's her. That would be her company. Then they get to win. They have, whatever, hundreds of thousands of shares or a million shares. So it's not cool. I mean, it's cool, but they're in a whole different. They're just like BlackRock and Vanguard and all these guys. They can invest in all these guys on the low side before they do their IPOs or make special deals, and they have an advantage. So I could see where she's been talking robo taxis for 5 years, 6 years. AI she's been talking about for 3 years, 4 years, and she actually holds the money. So I agree with you. She's going to have a different take, and she should, because she gets to be in early. It's bullish. It's on the coin market cap. Yeah, if it's really for the U.S. oil, it's going to be bullish. But it popped to 0.7, popped again to 0.4, 0.04. Now it popped from 0.018 to 0.03. whatever, two. I don't know how bullish it's going to be. I don't even know why it's going up, down, or anything. It's on Coinbase app too. Of course, you have to be on the exchanges. You if it's in the U.S., it's got to be regulated, right? So where's the meme? It's a meme coin, a hustle, man. Yeah, I know. I know crypto is. That's why I mess around with the Bitcoin and Ethereum only. It did crash and came back. Yeah, exactly. I got it at 0.009. Nice. How? Pre-sale? Because it shows it started at point zero. What was that? 1.8? Something like that. It's at 0.37. So people are still rolling. Yeah, I mean, it happens, man. That's crypto. I missed that 15K. Yeah, it can happen. Everyone can invest in the private market, not just her. Exactly. You got that right. It has something coming out February 1st. So let's see. What's the something? What's the something? I would like to know what the something, even though we can go do our own research, but I'm not going to be on here. It's 2 hours and 11 minutes. I got to run. I got to get myself something to eat, and I got to get back into some other studying as well, because once again, we always got to stay abreast of the situation. No, some people got in at 0.004, 0.003 for real. Okay. All right. Great. That's cool. Awesome. So yeah, that's what and now it's at, well, you moved over one digit. So okay. 1,000% or 100%. They have 22K holders on X. It's on their X page. Yeah. Okay. Just put in USOR. Okay. All right. Well, I got to find out, is this the US oil reserve for real? Because that'll be fascinating if it is. But again, I don't, again, it's detached. So I have a coin, but it doesn't have nothing to do with the US oil, really, I don't think. All right. We're going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. Just remember, financial chaos in America is manufactured, so you get distracted. Stay on point. Stay on the thing where the top dogs hang out, where the billionaires, millionaires hang out, securities. You need to be there. Where they're saying, just like MDA says, oh, yeah, the treasuries or bonds, they get there because they get their money, right? Now, the other part to this, you're going to need that credit score because the big dogs, they get to borrow money under assets. You may not be able to borrow money under assets. So therefore, you need the actual great credit score. And I agree, I think 775 is going to get you there. And therefore, when they have those deals that says 0% for 36 months, I want you to be able to apply and get approved because they're going to give people with premium credit, premium deals because they know they're going to pay their bills versus 80% of other people are getting taxed. Therefore, they're risking getting paid. And most people have an average, I believe it's $3,500 of credit cards. So you start adding that up amongst millions of people. I have never done that, but I'm pretty sure we get into the trillions because that is what is owed on credit cards. All right. So it has to be the same. Money, mouth, face, and another donation. Thank you so much. The Truth Trill. Greatly appreciated, man. I humbly appreciate any donations and thank you again. That's twice tonight, which thank you, man. Don't forget about Trading Bible. Oh, I thought I put that in there. The Candlestick Bible, I didn't put it in. I think I did, but if not, I think I did. I'll put it in again. Thank you for mentioning. All right, MDA, let's go. Before I go, let me see. Incorrect. Everyone can borrow money, leveraging assets. That's what I just said. Assets under management. Um, but do you really want to put your assets on a loan? You better have something good to feel. You better put it somewhere because now it's actually a personal loan. If you default, you lose your asset. That's all I'm saying. If you default on a credit card, you don't lose your assets. That's the point. And 0% is even better. But yeah, everybody can borrow assets under management. No problem. If you have stocks, you can borrow against them. If you have a home, you can borrow it against it. You can borrow something that they can take. It's that simple. Just like if you're in when Coinbase, these central exchanges started loaning money out, they can take your crypto if you don't pay them. So anything that somebody can take from you that they can't pay, that you can't pay, they're going to loan. So yeah, assets that they deem that they'll loan against or give you a loan against. Risky, but everyone can use margin, no credit check. Yeah, I know that's risky, man. Don't do it. Just think of all the people that did margin for gold and silver stocks. I mean, man, they were getting margin calls all day long. That's why I just kept going down, down, down. I'm sorry, sir. You went past your 30%. Sorry, sir. You went past your 20%. You got to pay us more money. And then watch it go down even further. That's cold work right there. Man, that's cold. All right, I got to run. Let's go. Sure, I do it all the time. It's why I buy most of my treasury bills through Vanguard. It helps balance my portfolio to help avoid margin calls along with positional trading. Great stocks. Exactly. Very good. Take a screenshot of this, ladies and gentlemen. This right here is a great plan. Thank you for sharing MDA0214. An investor, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Look at this. This right here is a wealth plan just by itself. Just saying. Just saying. All right. Thank you for that nugget, man. Greatly appreciated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to wrap this up. But please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And you know it's hard out here. I know it's hard out here. The numbers don't lie. I didn't make that video that I wanted to make about all the difficulties going on that hides under the radar. I don't want you guys to not know about it. So therefore, I have to make the video. This is crucial. A lot of things are needed out here to help people. Findhelp.org is one of them, but you're going to have to help yourself because nobody's coming to save you. You better figure out and get things done and study if you have to. Take the time to learn, but study. We're here for you. Hopefully, I'll see you on Monday night as well for the Money Making Monday, and have a great weekend. And with all that said, make sure no matter what you do out here, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.